We have to talk about this. We have to give all the context, and we have to share everything about this, because this is wild. How many upvotes does this have on Reddit? 74, which is like, it's only been posted 40 minutes ago. So this is a legitimate, ridiculous thing that's going on here, I think. So, in case you are not aware, there is a bit of an exploit, I would say, to some extent, but not for the way this post is posted. Let's go all the way back to Tier 0 item recovery. We'll leave this on the screen so you guys can read it. Tier 0 item recovery comes early this year, allowing nobody's gun and nobody's armor to be looted. There have been multiple times where you're able to tractor beam that gun or that armor off of a player after knocking them out, downing them, reviving them, like weird things. Everyone's found every way around it that they possibly can. The main one that still exists is specifically for guns, is if you melee take down a player, just like when you shoot an NPC, the gun goes flying up in the air. So the gun that I have on me will not be with me when I'm revived, and it is lootable by a player. To be honest, I have used this in the CZs because CZs with Tier 0 players just continuously come back, and there's never an end to a fight. But if we start looting their guns, you start looting their attachments, you start looting those things, then all of a sudden, after killing the same stream sniper 15 times, I was able to have him stop, let's say, for example, right? And that was an actual thing that happened to me. So, Tier 0 item recovery comes in to replace being able to loot people's subscriber gear until they have a better solution. They implied multiple times throughout the year that they are working on Tier 1. There was nothing about Tier 1 at CitizenCon. There was nothing at Tier 1 outside of them saying, we're working on it, guys, which is total fucking bullshit, and everybody knows it because they are selling packages of armor and weapons constantly, and that feeds their funding model, is to not change from Tier 0. So we think. All right? So, again, this exploit is meleeing a player, an exploit that is being shared on the website, on the issue council as an exploit, is like saying, hey, this is a problem. They melee me, and I lose my gun. Okay? Cool. That does sound like an exploit and a bug within the Tier 0 system. Of course it does. You're not supposed to lose anything, right? But what is the intention going forward with the game? It's Tier 1 and Tier 2, which are everything is lootable, but there's ways to get it back. You know, we'll have the death system or whatever, dead man switch, whatever they want to call it, with Tier 1. So all that stuff is coming. So this is what Matisius CIG said, hey, unfortunately, the development team owning this feature has let us know it is not seen as a bug. And that's what people are focused on here. Therefore, we will be not working on a fix for this matter. We will be closing this IC report as feedback, but we do encourage the discussion to continue on Spectrum. Thank you all for your support. It is not a bug, because the game intends you to be able to loot players' guns and armor at some point. So if you are upset about this, you are telling CIG to stop working on legitimate things that they need to work on and move forward. And because you occasionally lose your subscriber gun, and I mean, honestly, it is very annoying to lose tweaker attachments or very specifically like size 1 scorched attachments and things like that. It's annoying because you have no way to get them back, but that's not true. Go play the game and get them back. Okay? And again, these are things that are this is why Tier 0 was always a problem for me. is it did make sense in the sense of we have no way for people to get things that they paid real money for back. And again, I said it should always have been a skin. That's the best way to get it back, is to just get the gun and apply it to it, right? Is gun farms, gun crafting, maybe it's not that difficult, and you apply your skin to it, and then you look the way you want to. That was the whole thing behind it, but people didn't actually use and buy these weapons because of that. They bought these weapons because they never want to lose them. And people freaking out about this is absolutely saying that. Looting will be in this game, and it will be, I imagine it will be, this is my headcanon, I could totally be wrong here, there will be some level of challenge for you to get these things back, whether it is a timed get back like the current claim system we have with our ships, or gathering material. I truly believe that Wicklow is long-term the guy you go to get your subscriber gear back. If you haven't noticed, Wicklow's like mostly skins. And you turn in the gun that gets skinned. Have you noticed that? So I think that that might be the tool that they use to get our stuff back, but it needs to be like connected to our accounts in some way. And obviously like better turn-ins and stuff. It just feels that way to me. But the frustration behind this only exists because CIG prioritized other things than Tier 1 because it was helping their funding model. And now you're going to get a bunch of angry casual players, space dads, whatever you want to call them, that have gotten used to insta-respawning in their solo Polaris and solo Idris with all of their gear. And all they needed to do was carry a little bit of ammo with them. But guess what? If they had that ammo on their chest, they never lose it, right? So as long as they're always repooling, they're fine. And I think people got used to that, and now they're getting upset that an actual system that is already going to be implemented in the game is there already in some way, shape, or form. Now, this, again, is an exploit in the context of Tier 0. But Tier 0 is not Star Citizen. And you're asking developers to put in a placeholder system to fix an issue that isn't an issue at all and should not be an issue. They should be adding Tier 1. That's the conversation. Where's Tier 1? Where's Tier 2? If you're angry, that's what you should be saying. Not, I want to get my gun back and crying to have your fucking diaper changed like half this community does all the time. Where's Tier 2? That's what we should be arguing then. If it's not a bug, where's your prioritization on Tier 1 and 2? Right? They are justifying, like, people that are annoyed by this are justified. But they're going to make the argument, and are making the argument, of I don't want to lose my gear. Where's Tier 1 and 2? Make the video game. Everything is about funding, and it is so fucking obvious, and nobody opens their eyes. The priorities are made due to the funding tracker, and not due to making the better game. Right? Not making the game that they lay in front of you. It is always driving the funding and nothing else. And it's very, very frustrating. And what you're going to get is a bunch of angry backers that should have never been angry in the first place. Because you shouldn't have delivered Tier 0. You should have laid out your intentions for the tier system and start with Tier 1 like everybody told you. And I hope they get torn a new one by the community on the forums and have to deal with all the backlash because it was a mistake from the beginning. It was a mistake from the start. Yeah, maybe crafting Tier 0 is the option there. Maybe it's a recipe that's on your account, like based on whatever items you have are linked with a blueprint on your account and you recraft them. Whatever your solution is, doesn't fucking matter. However you get the item back that you paid real money for, to me, doesn't matter. We can argue that one way is better than the other until we're blue in the face. But the reality here is that you paid for something on the website. I believe it should be a skin. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want the item itself. I don't think that's good for the game overall long term. That is a totally different argument. The argument here is if you pay for a skin on the website, you should never lose that skin. Ever. There should be a way to reapply that or have that skin at all times. You should be able to look the way you want at all times. This does get in the way of that. But players looting your body is a part of this game and will always be a part of this game as far as we understand right now. So if you are arguing that it is a bug or not a bug, it is not a bug that a player's body can be looted when they die. If Tier 1 is something that's coming very soon. If you're keeping Tier 0 permanently, this is absolutely a bug. They are not keeping Tier 0 permanently, as far as we know. So I don't understand what we're on about here and why this is something that people are arguing is that big of a problem. I think you could, like, the amount of times I've been told it's an alpha when I've complained about things, I love when I get the opportunity to say it right back to you, is it's an alpha, deal with it. Who gives a shit? It is not an important problem that we have right now when 99% of the game doesn't work, doesn't exist, and is non-existent or whatever, right? There are so many more important priorities than that. So many more important priorities. This is not one of them. And yeah, you can get back everything other than your skins right now. All of the guns in the game exist. There are a way to get them. Kind of. I think this is coming up right now because you might have just bought the CitizenCon package, went into a CZ, and lost your shit. And guess what? In those CZs, there's a bug, an actual bug that somebody needs to work on, where you can't get any CZ guns right now because they're being replaced with these random orange boxes that you can't loot. There's nothing inside them. There's no icon to loot on them. So for people who are trying to recover, perhaps, their new guns that they got in the CitizenCon package, you can't even recover them because they're impossible to find. And yes, you get them back every patch anyway. There's a new patch every month. So it's really not that big of a deal, even from that standpoint. Whereas before, the 3-month wait was a big thing also, right? So there's lots of things that are going on here, but I think it is just always this idea of the Star Citizen community being incredibly entitled and believing that they should have everything that they want at all times without ever having to work for it. When you are going to lose something in this game, and you are not going to be able to get it back without playing the game to get it back. That is clearly coming in some way, shape, or form. For your subscriber stuff, I don't know. I don't exactly know what we will do to recover our stuff. That is the thing that they have left vague. That is the thing that they have not told us about. Is it crafting? Is it Wicklow? Is it just paying money? Is it just time? It could be one of those 4 things or a combination of those 4 things. We have no idea, but it is not a bug. So if you are getting mad that a player being looted is a bug, that's insane. It is only a bug in the context of another workaround. If we go down this rabbit hole, guys, there will be a workaround for the workaround for the it's band-aids, not workarounds. How many band-aids are you going to have on your one, like paper cut that you have on your finger? Losing your subscriber gear is a paper cut. Quantum travel problems are a giant gash on your arm, right? Like what's another like major issue that needs to be resolved in the game currently? Not being able to run commodities is like nearly a cut in your jugular. Those are bugs. Yeah, the entire FPS experience is literally an artery cut in the game. Like, so on the grand scale of things, we're talking about an issue with a Band-Aid on top of a Band-Aid on top of a Band-Aid. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, being shard locked, inventory, losing stuff with that like that's in your inventory that you have. Like, what are we doing? Right? These are the things that we need to hold them accountable for. Not this. This is silly. This just tells me that you have no capability of thinking logically. Right? This is very often I see this. It's like when I'm ranting about something on stream and I say something maybe a little bit incorrect, they won't actually listen to what I'm saying or try to logically think about what my argument is. They will recognize that I said an incorrect word and they will correct me on that word. And that's it. They will argue against me with the fact that I may have used an incorrect word, like bug in this case. Like, it's not a bug. They will argue that part. It is not seen as a bug. Of course it's not seen as a bug, because we know what the intention of the feature as a whole is, and that is that you will be able to loot other players. We don't feel that it is in our best interest to place another Band-Aid on top of the Band-Aid that we already have, right? People should be applauding this for not wasting your time and money, not complaining about it. Cheers. CIG for not wasting my time. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for having the correct priorities for fucking once. I appreciate it.